Hello and welcome to 30 Days of IBS Foods. Today is a little bit of a strange food. It's chickpeas. It is a pulse like lentils and black beans and things that we know can create a bit of gas, but these are probably the easiest type of pulses to eat if you have IBS, and I'll explain a little bit why. Chickpeas are high in a type of starch called raffinose, and this is particularly good for helping regular bowel movements and gut bacteria. It can also be fermented, as you may find, creating gas. Now, chickpeas, the way some people test out whether they can eat it or not is they have some hummus. So just a reminder that hummus, unless you're making it yourself, also has in it garlic, tahini, which is sesame seed butter, and it might have some other oils in it. And so you may have a reaction down to the garlic, not necessarily the chickpeas. So let's find out why chickpeas are so good. First of all, they are a very good source of the fibre that keeps the gut moving. So as I said, yes, they're good for creating that bowel movement and feeding the good gut bacteria. They also contain manganese, folate and copper, a good source of iron, which is important if you're vegan because you're going to need to get multiple sources of iron throughout the day. So I do recommend trying chickpeas if you are open to testing pulses again. Tinned chickpeas tend to be much easier to digest because you can drain the water away from the tin and then rinse the beans under the tap, and that washes away some of the high FODMAP element. Chickpeas are in the galacto-oligosaccharides category and fructans. When we're thinking about how much chickpeas you can eat per meal, it's around 80 grams, which is 5.5 tablespoons. Now, a lot of people I work with are quite surprised that that is quite a good sizable portion of a bean or lentils that you thought you couldn't eat. So 5 tablespoons, around 80 grams, will be okay. That means it's not going to be as rapidly fermentable as the same quantity of something like lentils or butter beans. When they get to a bigger portion, that would be around a whole cup of chickpeas, say 200 grams, then you're going to be reaching the tolerance level for galacto-oligosaccharides, the GOS category for FODMAPs, and fructan. Chickpeas are a bit similar to apples in the way that what I would suggest first is testing out your tolerance to the GOS group first, and then testing your tolerance to the fructan group, and then testing chickpeas. So rather than going straight in with a huge portion of chickpeas, we want to test out whether you can tolerate them first. So we're going to do this slowly, not only in increasing portion sizing, but also logically thinking about which are the FODMAP elements that we are wanting to test. The galacto-oligosaccharides group, you can also test with pinto beans or adzuki beans first. So do your little test with those with small amounts, like 2 tablespoons, and then increasing amounts. Then for the fructan element, maybe you want to test with banana or with go through the other fructan vegetables first. So these are important tests for you to check out whether you have an issue with either of the FODMAPs. It may just be the type of fibre that is creating the gas that's feeding your good bacteria that your body needs to adjust to. Other beans that you can have a similar amount of include kidney beans and also cannellini beans. So these are beans where you can have roughly around 80 grams as well per portion, which won't tip you into a high FODMAP fermentable state. So worth keeping those in mind when you are thinking about including pulses in your diet. The reason I suggest you should have some pulses in there is that they are such a good type of fibre and they are known to be very healthy for us. So definitely a food that a lot of people with IBS are worried about, but something that we can sometimes train our body to get used to digesting as well. So starting with small amounts regularly and increasing it over time. Some amount of bloating and gas is normal when you eat these highly fermentable foods. But what we want to do is try to change our gut bacteria to accept them and to eat them because they're so healthy. Join me tomorrow for another day of 30 Days of IBS Foods.